Just before we get started here, I can already hear the comment. Some really original person on the internet's gonna go, "Your face is my pet peeve, bitch. Get off the internet."
It's Black Hoody, I'm back cooking these goodies. Look at these views from cooking these foods. Yeah, fuck with me.
What is going on, you guys? Obviously, we're gonna do a Taco Bell mukbang. And as you guys well know, Taco Bell is very top on my charts. Very, very top. Many a video ago, I said that I would do a pet peeves video, a list of pet peeves sort of thing. Today's the day. Today's the day where that happens. I'm going to disclose some things that are maybe a little bit unorthodox that just piss me off. And the reason why this has really got kicked in is because just on my way home from getting this, one of the main offenders of my pet peeves list happened to me. And I'll elaborate on that in a moment. And just before we get started here, I can already hear the comment. Some really original person on the internet's gonna go, "Your face is my pet peeve, bitch. Get off the internet." It's so funny to me that there's people who exist to come to your video just to give you that thumbs down. Like, how sad and pathetic is your existence or your energy, your life, your negativity level, when you subscribe to a channel to just dedicate hate? I always get at least 10 thumbs down, which I think my thumbs up to thumbs down ratio is fucking awesome, by the way, just PS. But there's just, that there's 10 people, 15, 20 people who weirdly have an addiction to hating on you. They love you so much that they hate you. It's I'm gonna subscribe just to make sure that I can come through the video and spread negativity, which is a hilarious existence to me. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. All right, gotta make it rain with the sauce pile, of course. That's actually on my pet peeve list. When employees are stingy with sauce. It's I know I've addressed this before in other videos, but it's actually on my pet peeve list. And it's when you ask for extra sauce, employees just seem to get kind of stressed about it, a little bit butthurt. And I've never understood it. I'm sure it's a little annoying on their end. They're busy. They don't want to have to go digging for sauces, but just hook me up proper the first time, and then you don't have that issue. And my main thing is that it's some megacorp, they can afford to give you adequate sauce. And by you giving me enough sauce, I don't think it's really affecting, you know what I mean? Your job's not at risk or anything, I don't think. Had to just crush those because they're so addictive. That cheese, that queso is amazing. The crisp on those chips. Just so thin and perfect. So on the way here, coming back from getting this, I experienced one of my main pet peeves. And the only people that will relate to this are people that have to ride transit, take transit, or live more or less in major cities. But even if you take transit, I think anywhere else too, you're always going to find these offenders. The world we live in is full of self-centered, unaware individuals, and I'm very sick and tired of these humans, but they exist and can't really do much about them. That's a crave. That's a late night crave. The first one, the one that just happened to me, is the dude or the woman or whoever who thinks that a public space is an appropriate time to have a 45-minute loud-ass conversation on their phone. Especially when it's just like casual and they're just like laughing and you can tell that it's really unimportant. And it's pretty much just because they have time to kill and they figured this is a good time for me to make a phone call. Wow. Newsletter. Not an appropriate time to make a phone call. In fact, hilarious napkin today. In fact, one of the worst times to make a phone call. It's rude. No one wants to hear it. We're all in this together. We're all just trying to get somewhere. It's already stressful enough. There's already enough people around. There's already enough noises from every which way. I get it. Put in my headphones, whatever, but come on, man. You're one person and there's about 80 of us here, so it's like let's chill the fuck out. I understand if you get a phone call, you have to take it. But I'm under the impression that almost any phone call, what needs to be relayed can be done in 5 minutes. Shouldn't really take any more time than that. Get to the point, say what has to be said, and get off the phone. All right. In that same vein, another transit pet peeve are transit DJs. These guys are my favorite. It's always guys. It's never women. It's always dudes. And they're all very much the same. They're all a very certain breed of dude. I'm not going to go into it, but they are who they are. And these are the guys that play trap music as loud as they can off their phone for everybody to hear. When in fact, nobody here wants to hear Future right now. Especially off a shitty speaker that's all treble. If you can afford a phone and a phone bill, pretty sure you can afford a pair of headphones. Just get them. Not that hard. Nobody's trying to hear your DJing skills. Like, that's it. So, talk it away. This is a tulip, by the way. Alright, I'm going to get off transit now, even though there's probably a few more I could go into, but let's just not worry about it. This is a weird one that I came across a long time ago. And it actually came across my mind because I used to get stoned when I was super young. And of course, you're trying to hide it and be stealth from your parents. And my parents would always be in bed, but I'd be baked and I'd get the munchies. And I'd have to like covert op making like a stoner snack in the microwave. But if you weren't slick enough and caught the microwave in time, then of course the microwave and other home appliances tend to have super obnoxious and long repetitive beeps, noises, things to indicate that it's done. Which I appreciate. But on one hand, I'm like, first things first, it's a microwave. It's a temporary, like, few minute thing. I don't need you to indicate that something's done. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm still going to be around. Like, I'm not like running out and like doing some new task while something's cooking in the microwave. Like, I'm literally sitting there looking at it, being like, hurry the fuck up, getting radiation cancer from it because it's like a 2-minute job, and I'm just like waiting for the food. So I've never understood why it has to beep, and so obnoxiously, to the point where it wakes my parents up, and then I get busted for being stoned. And I'm like, thanks, microwave. In that same token, like, washing and drying, like, I don't need the dryer to beep 18 times to let me know. It's like, I need my clothes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna forget. I don't just go into the world naked. So, there's that. All right, next up, what else are we gonna say? This one bothers me huge, and it's super YouTube related for me, mukbang and all that. It's just got a really personal feel for me, but I absolutely cannot stand it, hate it, when people disrespect a burger or a nice, well-constructed sandwich of some sort, maybe a chicken sandwich, whatever, by doing a one-handed pick-up, eat move. If you have a nice burger or whatever, give it the respect it deserves to hold it, you know, cradle it like the beautiful creation it is, and take those bites and make sure everything's staying bite to bite where it needs to be. The one hand move, it's just disrespectful. Like, sometimes it ends up upside down, or like one of the buns, like, because there's no integrity here, there's nothing holding, so the bun flops after the first or second bite. Now lettuce and shit's pouring out. Why did you spend money on that? Why are you disrespecting your burger like that? Like, tuck that baby in. Like, you know what I mean? Cradle it. Give it the love. Right even to like the last bite. Like, and then maybe on the last one you can get a little cocky with it, but like, I'm saying there's a lot of people out here, and it's like, your other hand, like, it's not doing anything. Like, it's not even up to anything important. So I'm like, why? Like, I get if your other hand was like doing something, but it's not even doing anything. You're just like completely disrespecting and being lazy to your burger. So if you're a one-hand burger person, I don't know, like, maybe just reevaluate a little bit. In a similar lane to that, I'm also a self-proclaimed, I know, whatever, I'm a cutlery snob. I was taught the proper way to hold my cutlery. And to me, it's because I've worked in so many restaurants. That I've seen people hold cutlery in such jacked up positions that I'm like, first off, how the fuck did you come to that? Like, in what way did that make sense to you? And two, I can see the fundamental of the way that they're holding it. It's affecting the effectiveness of their actual ability to like navigate the item that they're trying to deal with. To the point where I've seen like half a steak go flying off a table because somebody just doesn't know how to hold their cutlery. I mean, I'm super passionate about this, I'm sorry, but it's like I've just seen the craziest like fork holds. Like I've seen people like devil horning it. I've seen like just like the full shovel. I've seen so many like weird, I can't even explain them. They're so twisted. And then sometimes the knife hold when it's like, or like they'll do like, some people will do like this thing, like the backwards with like the knife. I'm like, how is that effective? Like, it's so simple. It's literally this. Index with the knife, like full control, and then like this, like tuck it in, full control. Like I don't know. Anyways, I'm getting too into it, but some people just hold their cutlery so jacked up. This next one is a huge one that I think a lot of people can relate to as long as they have an iPhone. But there's nothing more frustrating than when you're trying to like navigate Google or like you're on YouTube or whatever you're doing. Like you're doing something on your phone and fucking all these, like, so say maybe you're in a group chat or somebody's texting you an entire sentence one letter at a time, which people tend to like, hey, what's up? Like there's but when you're trying to do some shit and that fucking message notification comes down and like your phone is rendered useless at that point because it's just like if you click then you have to go to the message, exit out and go back to the app. It's just like there's that moment in time where it's like, and then it just sits there and you have to wait for it to dip. Like, maybe I'm an idiot and I'm behind on technology, but it's the most frustrating thing to me. Maybe there's a way around it, I don't know. Maybe I'm just unaware. So if anybody knows anything about that, please let me know. But that shit is so incredibly frustrating. This next one's a quick one. It's a little bit more gross or has to do with bathroom, going to the bathroom. But I call it the double deuce. and it's just a really frustrating thing. It's like you go, you deal with it, you think it's all well and good and done and over. You like finish, go back to doing whatever you're doing, and within like a minute or two there's like a second shift, and you're like, do I really have to go do that all over again? It's like one was ready and waiting and one was like up in storage, and then it's like you get rid of one and then like you think it's good, but then like a few minutes goes by and then and it's like bam, right there again. You're like, fuck. Anyways, a little graphic, not graphic, but you know what I mean, a little personal, but I think people go through it. If you don't go through the double deuce, you're lucky. The next one is, as a child who was born in a time where the internet was kind of just, you know, coming up, and being spoiled by having the internet, but at the same time having lived in the ages where the internet used to, speeds were not so great. And then having grown up to a point where it's like it's 2018, this shit is so next level and advanced now to the point where it's like internet's pretty solid, like it should never really buffer, it should never really have buffering, but the odd times that it does now happen to me, like when for some reason like a site or a movie streaming, like it's not giving me what I need, there's no quicker way than some buffering for me to feel like I'm gonna snap and execute a person. Like the amount of frustration that some buffering can bring me is actually terrifying to me. Like it might indicate a psychological issue, because it is so incredibly, like I'm enraged. Like fully yelling at my computer screen, being like, bruh, we are living in the future. Like, this doesn't happen. This isn't 1999. Like, no buffer. Another one is when I jaywalk. And I know jaywalking is illegal. I'm setting myself up for this just by jaywalking, but you guys ever know that thing where like you're essentially trying to Frogger across a road, and like you get that window of opportunity, but right at that moment there's some fucker in a car that's just for far enough but close enough to where it's like it could fuck you over but it couldn't. And then that person, instead of like, if they had just kept like a good momentum, like a good speed, and just went past you, you could get that, you could frog over. And so in that moment, all you want them to do is just actually like get by you so you can go. But like for some reason it never works out like that, and I'm just like in my head I'm like drive, just fucking drive, go past me so I can Frogger. Like and it happens every time, I swear. And I never really understood how deeply pet peeves affect my anger levels, but I guess they're called peeves for a reason. Peeves usually pee you off, right? This is another favorite of mine, especially in a major city where space on the sidewalk is at a premium. But I'll never understand it, but there's like always the people who are like outside of the coffee shop, or they just got done dinner and like, or whatever. There's a group outside where they're smoking and they decide to congregate in a 5-pack directly in the middle of the sidewalk. It's called sidewalk, not side block, and you're blocking the whole fucking thing right now. What are you doing? Again, no. That's a pet peeve too. When the bottom of the shell gets soggy and breaks open and your whole taco experience is ruined. God damn it. Maybe I'll use my fork properly to fix this. Don't eat the wrapper. But yeah, that's just another instance of people just being really unaware and like self-centered. I kind of wish people would look around more and just like assess the situation, you know? I have so many more on this list, but we're getting to the end of the video. So maybe I'll do a part 2. But here's another quick one, and I think I'm just weird for it, but I take cooking and preparing food for myself not like serious, but like I just like to do it on my terms and in my own space, in my own zen. And I guess it's more because I've either grown up with like a bunch of stepbrothers or a lot of people around me or roommates. But there's something about when somebody hears or smells food cooking, for some reason or another, it's like a magnet draw for people to just like come and hover around you and like ask you questions and almost like try to like snaggle their way into like potentially eating what you're making. And it's like, I'm not really making a group food here. I'm making like a meal for myself. I kind of want to just do it in peace. Like I don't need you over my shoulder asking about ingredients. I don't need you like being too deep into my shit. It's like I'm cooking for myself. I just want to be easy about it. I don't have this weird awkward energy where it's like, no, I feel like I owe you some because you like hooked up or you like stood around me and like talked to me for a while or whatever. And I know that sounds really fucked up, but it's just like, I don't know. It probably has to do with roommates and the fact that I've always just had people around me, but sometimes I just don't want to be bothered when I'm doing that shit, so. Anyways, if anybody could relate to that, let me know. Crush that. Got a little emotional in this one, a little intense. But they're peeves. It's supposed to be like that. So, till the next one. Eat good, live well, stay true.